Welcome to the H2Orb installation video. And here are some of the tools needed. Adjustable wrench, medium size, large flathead screwdriver, also suggested 2 to 4 quart bowl to catch drips, paper towel or rags to wipe the drips you missed, protective gloves, disposable or other, small spray bottle of diluted bleach, 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Shut off the water with the valve at the wall. In addition, it is always a good idea to know where your main water shutoff is and be ready to shut it off in case of an emergency. Older valves can be clogged with sediment and debris, so always use caution when turning them off. Once the water's been turned off, flush the toilet to empty the bowl and tank. Next, use a wrench to loosen the water line to the point where it can be removed by hand. Place a container below the valve to catch any drips and finish removing the water line. Let the excess water from the fill line empty into the container. Now install the L adapter. The L adapter can be used for straight or angle valves and must be used to move the H2Orb away from the water stop valve. The installation kit comes with several sizes of step-down adapter rings that will allow you to install the device on most standard thread configurations. The L adapter rotates 360 degrees to optimize accessibility. Further adjustment may be necessary once the H2Orb is completely installed. Use a wrench to tighten. Now it's time to install the H2Orb. You should have already followed the instructions and completed a dry test by installing the battery and attaching the tank and/or bowl sensors to the orb. During the test, it should have activated and reset the sensors, listening for the alerts and noting the LCD icons. Now you can attach the inlet side of the orb to the L adapter. No adapter rings will be needed. Reattach the toilet fill line, this time to the outlet side of the H2Orb. A step-down adapter ring may be needed. As before, insert the adapter ring into the nut on the fill line. If the ring does not insert into the end of the fill line properly, you may have an old fill line and need to replace it. Also check the fill line. If it's clogged, that means the line is deteriorated and it might be time to replace the line. Install the data cable. Now is also the perfect time to test the system under pressure. If you completed the pre-system check per the written instructions, the sensors and the cable should all be assembled. By turning on the water and inserting the data cable, all functions of the orb can be tested. This 60-second test will immediately let you know if the flow through the system is sufficient to allow you to use the standard H2Orb program. Clogged fill lines and fill valves can greatly reduce the flow and cause apparent H2Orb malfunction. These malfunctions are not caused by the H2Orb, but are telling you that your toilet is not presently working as it should be. If you are using the bowl sensor, complete its assembly now. Holding the cord against the back of the bowl sensor, insert the flat bracket into the bowl sensor housing so the cord goes on top of the flat bracket. Then feed the cord back down through the hole in the bracket. You are now ready to install the bowl sensor onto the toilet. Remove the seat bolt where the seat sensor is to be installed. In many cases, the existing seat bolt can be used with the bowl sensor wing nut and wing nut extender. First, pushing the RJ11 connector and boot through the hole. The sensor should hang loosely on the bowl. You do not have to remove the seat to install the sensors, but to make it easy to see how the bowl sensor installs, we've done it here. Lay the flat bracket with the bowl sensor housing attached over the bolt hole. Replace the toilet seat and corresponding bolts. Be sure to hold the bowl sensor cord to the front of the bolt hole when inserting the bolt. Do not tighten yet. Attach the wing nut and wing nut extender underneath the rim of the bowl to the bolt that holds the flat bracket. When attaching the wing nut parts, note the slot in the bolts. The slot and the nuts should face the front of the bowl. This slot is so the cord fits comfortably through the bolt hole and is not kinked, causing possible false disconnecting signals. Depending on the type of toilet, you can use just the wing nut or add the extender to lower the wing nut for easier accessibility. Now slide the small square spacer under the opposite bolt. This will keep your seat from tilting. Tighten the bolts and replace the covers. Locate the guides on the back of the sensor housing and insert them into the rectangular openings on the bracket. The housing should face away from the clip side of the tank sensor slide bracket. Remove the tank cover and set it gently aside. Install the tank sensor by sliding the clip onto the side of the tank. Make sure it is installed so that it does not interfere with the fill valve. Plug it in the appropriate RJ12 plug in the H2 Orb system. The toilet should now be ready for testing. If the tank is not already filled, turn on the water now and refill the tank. Carefully turn on the water and watch for leaks. If you have properly installed the system, the water should turn on and the tank should fill normally. When the tank is completely filled, set the water line on the tank sensor to the actual water level in the tank. The correct water level in the tank should be about 1 inch below the top of the fill tube. Now it's time to connect the system together. Connect the cables in the correct ports. Tank and bowl are clearly labeled. Once all the cables are connected, slide the junction box onto the wing nut located under the bowl sensor bolt. Remove the cover and activate a system test on the H2 Orb. Press both the alarm silence and open valve key at the same time for about 8 seconds. This self-test will cycle the valve to open and close and display the icons. When the test is complete, all icons will be visible. The icons will cycle one at a time until all icons appear on the screen. You can reference these icons in your installation manual. To now activate the system, press the Open Valve key one time and listen for 3 beeps. The profile or program is now ready to be set. The orb has 3 levels of protection that are identified by specific programs. Push the Open Valve key and hold it for about 5 seconds. A number will appear on the lower left-hand side of the screen. To change the profile while the number icon is still available, push the silence alarm key once each time to change the profile number. Number 1 is the default profile. Please see your user manual for specific profile attributes. Your H2 Orb should now be ready for operation. We recommend a final system check by checking communication of each sensor. Flush the toilet and activate the bowl sensor by lifting the donut float. Reset the orb, and while the tank is filling, activate the tank overflow function. Both events should cause the water to shut off. If not, please refer to your installation manual for troubleshooting instructions. Each H2 Orb kit provides 3 zip ties to help create a clean and neat installation. Thank you for installing the H2 Orb. Please use this and the written instructions as your guide. If you have any questions, please contact Aqua One and the H2 Orb directly.